What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Logan back at it again with some more technical analysis. Let's got some stocks. Yes, that's what I meant to say. No, let's get into some stock market information. Let's look at some Palantir technical analysis today. Make sure you check out the Discord links below. Make sure you leave a like on this video and also consider subscribing for more stock market information. Also wanted to chat about, I'm going to play Warzone this weekend and stream with a couple buddies on my channel. And we're going to talk about stocks. You guys can ask me questions in live time. And I want to just engage with you guys outside of the stock world a little bit too, just to get to know my community a little better. And I've always wanted to do this. So make sure you're there for that. I'll keep you guys updated on if it's Friday or Saturday. So we saw a little bit of a drop off in volume. And then, man, it rose when we fell a little bit. So let's talk about it. Let's look at the bigger picture. I talked about it in the last video too, how I said we have more potential to the downside. My price target was about 25 after this first pullback when we hit 28 and even got down to 26. And today we actually saw that dip to about 24.20, I think is the low for the day. Clearly oversold. Clearly was oversold. So I just wanted to say that. But I was watching them this morning and I saw them overnight. Gapped up a little bit. They were looking really strong out of the gate. I mean, they were above the VWAP. Broke through it, and I did not take an entry here because I was watching the rest of the market. Of course, I was entering my spreads, but I was actually playing a Facebook put right around here. And Facebook consolidated and then fell. I only made like 5% on it, but was playing a little put, and then it really legged down right around here. I think I sold out of Facebook when Palantir is right here, but enough about that play. Palantir though, just sell. I mean, right when the VWAP breaks this EMA line here, as you can see, I mean, it's just we're in a world of hurt, and then immediately climbed back up and back to the VWAP and consolidated on it the rest of the day. That's why I didn't take any new positions. We did break it here, but it was not a clear break as we were still under the EMA. And I always wait for a second green candle of confirmation after we do break. And it even happened here, but no more continuation. I mean, it mounted it, but guess what? We got shut back down. Then we also legged down again, but then just consolidated the rest of the day. Very low volume coming in past noon. But man, this movement was crazy. It would have been great to trade, but I was watching it just drop, and I didn't think it would keep going. Once we were at like 20, because the VWAP's here, we're underneath it. But even when you're seeing it and you're tapping the lower VWAP band, that's when, because most days, I mean, as of late, have, where they sell off and then shoot back up. When you tap that lower VWAP band a couple times, it usually starts to get a little green again and push back and start to consolidate. But it really just started to tank down, and this one big sell in 5 minutes went from 25.70 all the way down to 24.25. So I'm really curious on how many of these sellers were buyers again right here. It's always something that I've liked to keep an eye on just because, I don't know. But yeah, so Palantir, and I also want to show you guys SPY too and show you how it's literally identical to how Palantir moved. If we search SPY real quick, I mean, the charts will literally look so identical to you, I think. And let me zoom back out. So here we go. I mean, of course, Palantir had a really strong morning, but SPY off the rip, and we just followed it. I mean, those 4 big red candles Palantir had popped back up, tapped the VWAP, although SPY pulled back again where Palantir just hovered on the VWAP. And then at the end of the day and into after hours, we are cruising as of right now, 363.85, which is far up there. I mean, we even got up to 364, it seems like. But yeah, it just moved exactly the same way. So Palantir really does follow the market, and that's why we pulled back today. And that's why we pulled back 12% on Palantir at this very low spot right here. This spot right here from where we were at open. So right around 280.60, 280.70. Not 280, 28.70, 28.60 area. This from here to there, so just in a matter of an hour, is a 12% move. So that's really interesting to see, and that's a lot of, there's traders in this. There's also people who bought in the 30s range who are probably freaking out when they saw it down to 24, so they sold out. There's a lot of different reasons why people will continue to sell stocks. Seeing SPY gap down, I even got nervous to enter some of my SPY spreads, so I saved that. But yeah, I'm really interested to see how we continue to move throughout the week with Palantir, and I really do plan on playing it tomorrow because I watch SPY so closely. And yeah, like Palantir is a really fun stock to hop in and out of because it gets so much activity. Like even if you bought a put here, right, at 27.30, if it drops to 26.70, I mean your deltas are like 50, you're already going to be up like 20% on your position. Like that's fantastic. So you can really just play and have fun with Palantir. I wouldn't play any spreads on Palantir. I would just play either shares if you're going to trade it, honestly, because if you were able to pick up shares today and you were one of these guys, oh my gosh, buying at 24.27 or like 24.25 ish and then rode up to 27, I mean you're already sitting really good in your position. So that's something too that like that impressed me. If anybody was in this green buy and was like, hey, this is oversold, like it was a great time to get in. So that's something that's really cool to see, and still underneath the EMA, so we got to be a little cautious about that going into after hours. But it's been pretty much flat. It's down what, 10 cents? Whoop-de-doo, you know, not the biggest deal in the world when it comes to Palantir. I think that's 0.5%, if that even. So little drop by them today, but yeah, I wanted to just kind of break down why they fell, and it was just market conditions. There was really no specific news that came out with them, and that's something you'll see is like if you watch the RSI, like this little red indicator, and I have it on the 70/30. So the little red indicator is starting to show that it's being overbought, and then when it gets blue, that means it's oversold, right? So this means like, hey, if you hop in right here, you have a really solid like position for it to go up, but also the RSI helps too up here, because if you buy towards like the top of this range, right, then it looks like there's more potential downside, and you'll kind of see it trade within this RSI. But I'll go into a breakdown on why I use this one in a future video. But the main thing I want to talk about is just Palantir, and this is the most volume we got in the day was this big drop, and it matched what happened at open. I was a little bit higher, but I was just really impressed by it. And even if we look at SPY, I mean, SPY is pretty much the same when it comes to that kind of movement. But even if we look at the volume, I mean, the volume just wasn't there this morning, which was really interesting for me to see too. I was like, just kind of confused, honestly, why the volume was so low on these funds this morning. And then it really just picked up, began to sell off a little bit. So I'm just glad we could touch on that today and how similar Palantir is moving to SPY so that you can continue to watch, you know, maybe one or the other to get a feel for your trades. But the only thing I swung today was Twitter. I grabbed that. So let's check Twitter real quick. I know it was looking good after hours. I picked it up at the end of the day on this dip candle right here, right around 46.33. And then it climbed at the end of the day and we're at 46.60. So that's my little swing play. So we'll see what it looks like in the morning. And I'm just rocking some spreads right now. But yeah, I wanted to just touch on Palantir technical analysis like I have been. We got a lot of cool options videos coming out in the future though that I'm excited to talk about, you know, with spreads and everything like that. But this is just such a phenomenal stock for technical analysis trading. And if anybody tells you wrong, just show them the last month of how Palantir moves and just say like, hey, like my man, like you got your buddy on the phone, just tell him like, hey, if you want to learn technical analysis, watch Palantir stock because it is so good for that. I mean, even right here, we got the first break, but it's still on the VWAP, so it's not like, you know, you need a clear candle off of it. And even here, the EMA was such a good support line, but the second you lost that, it really was a free fall. And 25 was where my target price was once they kind of hit around this area, and man, they all the way down to 24.20. So let's see what market conditions bring. I know we're up on SPY after hours about 0.5%, so that's looking pretty good for us and for anybody who's wanting to trade, or you know, maybe you bought Palantir shares this morning 29 and you got real nervous but you're still holding. So don't worry, it's just part of the game, man. If you're holding shares for the long term, you're in a golden position. You can always dollar cost average. So I just want to touch on those things, but that's going to be it for me today. But also make sure you guys join the Discord below. Leave a like on this video as it helps out the channel a ton. So I really appreciate that. But I will see you guys in the next video. So have a good day trading tomorrow. See you soon.